So I really think we need to start worrying about the message that we are putting out to foreign men regarding our own children. Because as I covered in the video the other day, it's every day. Every day there is some kind of sexual assault. And I think that this is actually not to be unexpected, given the way that we have been promoting our country and ourselves and our own children to these men. They, I think, come from very different cultures to ours, cultures I personally find backwards, and we have been giving them the wrong signals. I mean, you may remember this from earlier this year, where, and this was only in January this year, this felt like ages ago, but I've actually changed my monitors. Normally I had the thing I was reading on that monitor, but then I realised it kind of makes me look like I'm looking at the floor, whereas if I put it on this monitor, it makes me look like I'm looking at the thing on the screen that you can actually see, so it makes me look like I'm reading it. But anyway, so you may remember this from back in January, where a video of two young secondary school pupils welcoming refugees to Wales went viral because Elon Musk found it. And he was like, this is a bit weird, isn't it? Because, yeah, that was a bit weird, right? I'm not going to play it because it's got kids in it. But the schoolgirls help highlight the successful asylum seekers, what they can expect from the help from the Welsh Refugee Council and other agencies. Because it kind of really looked bad, right? It really looked bad. Now, the thing is, I can understand that from the position of the Welsh Refugee Council, buying into the narrative, oh, they're all just poor, impoverished asylum seekers who are just fleeing persecution or war or being poor, living in Somalia. They just need our help. They're just well-meaning liberals who have found themselves somehow trapped in Somalia and they just need to get out. So we're going to bring them over and they're basically going to attend our Lib Dem voting dinner parties. And they're going to just be like exactly as well educated as us, have exactly the same social mores as us. They're just like us. They're just trapped in a foreign country where they're being persecuted. They're all perfectly good people, I'm sure. And so if you're trapped in, if you're just saturated in the left-wing narrative of what a refugee is, then you end up with things like this, where they were just like, well, we just thought it'd be nice to get the kids to be like, welcome refugees, you'll be safe here. You are the victims and we're going to make sure that you're safe here. And it's like, yeah, okay, from that perspective, from that mindset, I can see how this video ends up getting made. But if you take a more cynical mindset and you take a more cynical approach to this, you say, well, hang on a second. What if a bunch of these young men are actually, like 70, I've seen stats where it's 75 to like 90% men, right? Most of those, between like 20 and 40. So it's not, in fine shape, basically, fighting condition. It's if we would say that some of them are actually not just pure innocent liberals who want to vote Liberal Democrats, but couldn't because they had the misfortune of being born somewhere other than Britain, which is basically how all of this is pitched, then maybe what you are doing, as Elon Musk put it, said that these 12-year-old girls are being used to entice migrant men to come to Wales. There are bad men out there. Many of them, I think, are breaking into the country on these small boats, if the number of sexual assaults they're being charged with is anything to go by. So maybe we take a skeptical and cynical look at this and say, yeah, actually, basically advertising our children to these men is probably not wise. It's probably not a good idea. Chris Philp said at the time, Shadow Home Secretary, said it was deeply irresponsible for the Welsh Refugee Council to share a video featuring only young girls in the first place, especially in the light of long-standing grooming gang scandal. And just, I mean, he wasn't to know that there'd be literally a conviction for this every single day. But the Welsh Refugee Council hit back saying, listen, you bigots, why do you just hate refugees so much? That's basically literally what they came out with. And it's just like, look, man, Like, you can say Wales is seen as a nation of sanctuary. Okay, bro, you Wales, calm down. But we welcome anyone and everyone. So what, even the rapists? We recognise your skills and talents, says one of the girls in the video. The Welsh Refugee Council offers lots of support and set out with providing learning English, finding a job and getting healthcare. It's like, I mean, that's bad enough on its own. I hate the fact that we're doing all of this. But this is crazy. But anyway, one of the chief executive of the Welsh Refugee Council was like, it was never intended as an advert to encourage migration. I mean, isn't it? Like, it sounds like an advert to encourage migration. It sounds like exactly what that is. Come to Wales because we're going to give you money and sanctuary. Like, that seems to be exactly what you're offering. And you're doing it through the mouths of a couple of 12-year-old girls. And so if you're like some boat migrant young man, you would come to the conclusion that we want you to come and see our children. Our children are going to be appealing to you and saying, hey, why don't you come here? We're going to give you everything. And our children are going to be our ambassadors for this. Like, that's such a weird thing. And honestly, I think you can understand how they're getting the wrong end of the stick, especially when you get things like this, where children from one school were like sending Valentine's Day cards to refugees. And it's just like, sorry, Charlotte Gill found this. It's like, I know what you think you're doing. No one will put their children in a boat unless the water is safer than the land. You think they're mostly women and children, right? They're not. The numbers are in. We know they're not. We know it's at least 75% adult men. And the thing is, a large portion of the children are going to be over 18 as well. They just lie about their age, right? And we know this because we had to scan their bloody teeth. So, like, we know that I think it's going to be about 90% adult men. And so if you're in the, it's all a bunch of women and children, then sending them Valentine's Day cards doesn't seem so bad. It seems fine. But when you know that they're adult men, you can see how they're getting the wrong impression. And so, like, we seem to be offering these things to them. We seem, from their perspective, to be encouraging them to do the things that they're doing. And earlier, this video went around where it's two what appear to be Somalian adult men at a park playing with two unaccompanied blonde girls who look about 6, 7. Like, and they're just, I'm not going to play it because YouTube can be funny about these things. But, like, obviously everyone's like, what the hell? Why are there two adult sort of Somalian African men playing with a couple of girls in the park? What is going on here? Obviously. And then you've got, woke lefty on Twitter. Let's see what I bet he calls himself that. I see two guys interacting and innocently playing with two young girls in a park. Tell me what you see, flag shaggers. You think it's perfectly innocent for two adult men who are not related to these girls, obviously, to just be playing in a park with them. Just they rock up. Why are they in a park? Why are two adult men who are obviously not accompanying children playing in a park? And they just found some kids to play with, and they're just like, yeah, we're just going to play in a park with a bunch of kids. Is that normal to you? Is it? Is that nothing? There's no warning bells that are like alarming in your mind. Being like, well, hang on a second. Like nothing goes. No. It's just that we're racist, right? It's just we're bigots, and we're bigots because we don't think that actually adult African men should be playing with 6-year-old, 7-year-old girls without any kind of supervision, or it's just strangers. They're just strangers. They're just playing with them in the park. I mean, what's wrong with it? Why wouldn't these adult men be playing in the park with a bunch of kids that are not theirs? Like they don't know. Like they're not in any way related, not connected. Like why? What? It's just innocent. It's completely innocent. What are you thinking? And it's like, well, I'm sorry. I'm just more skeptical than this, and I'm quite suspicious of this because, like, if you look at like how do Somali women dress, how do Somali girls dress? Well, they're like this, right? They are a highly patriarchal society, right? The women are completely head to toe covered. You get to see the faces, right? You can't see the bodies, and they live in very tightly structured family units. So the girls are always under control of the family, the mother and the father and the brothers, at all times. And so this becomes normal to them. And this is what they expect. And so, like, if you've just got a couple of just random girls, unaccompanied girls who are just, they don't appear to be under the protective rubric of a family, like, that is odd to these people, right? They don't understand the culture that they're in already. And then you get these ones who are just like, well, yeah, I mean, this particular chap sexually assaulted a 17-year-old because, quote, he'd never been so close to a white woman. And he didn't know how to control himself. And it's like, right, okay, I'm sorry, I just don't think these guys share your liberal Democrat values, actually. I don't think they were brought up in liberal cultures that respect women and respect our girls and children. I just don't think that's the case. And I don't see any compelling reason why I should think that's the case. And I think that you believe a pack of absolute lies. And the fact that you believe a pack of absolute lies is getting children assaulted. And so actually, I think maybe we should be approaching this a bit more differently and with a bit more caution, at the very least. Maybe the children shouldn't be making videos saying, hey, come to Wales, we're going to help you. Maybe they shouldn't be sending them Valentine's Day cards. I mean, I know I'm sounding like a crazy right-winger, but I just think fewer children will be raped if we do that. And I think that's a good thing. The fewer number, the better. And I don't mind being called a bigot in the process of trying to make sure the fewest number suffer than otherwise. Anyway, go and get Islander 4. It is currently on the merch store. It is $14.99 and it has amazing essays in from me, Morgoth, Ed Dutton. In fact, there are loads. There are loads of essays in there and loads of great artwork as well with it. There are a couple of poems in there. It is a really superb and intellectually nutritious thing to own. And remember, the Islander magazines are not reprinted. We always get people saying, oh, can I get Islander 3 or can I get 2 or 1 or whatever? And I'm just like, no, sorry. Like these magazines, the point of them is that they're a moment in time, right? They represent a slice of the zeitgeist talking about the current situation and where we're going to be in the near future and where we need to be in the long term and to properly better understand what's going on around us. If we reprinted them, it would kind of change the nature of them. And I don't want to do that. I really like what they are. So do go and get it now because we only have a limited amount of stock and a lot of them have already sold. And when they're gone, I'm afraid. And I've seen them selling on eBay for like $200. And it's like, okay, well, get it for 15 quid or I don't know, $21 or whatever that is in local currency. Get it now rather than getting it later because they are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous things. Rory does an incredible job with the aesthetics throughout the entire magazine. And he has done with all of them. I don't know what it is, right? He kind of taps into the ley lines of Rory is a complete mystic. Like, I love talking to Rory because he comes out with the most unexpected observations, but they're always kind of on point. It's just that he doesn't approach things like everyone else. And that just means he does an amazing job with this magazine. Where it's like, look, just like connect to the universe and put it into the magazine. He's like, yeah, great, I can do that. And so he does. And it always looks great. But anyway, the point being, it's a moment in time and get it while you can. Link will be in the description.